Georgia man left home for a simple court appearance and never showed up.
That doesn't feel right. That doesn't sound right. That's not like him.
One family's search for answers. Cold Case Project, Thursday at 5 on News Channel 6. The most watched station in the CSRA, News Channel 6. The Coffee Club on WJBF is brought to you by Waynesboro Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
This upcoming week will be toasty with the hottest temperatures we've seen all summer. That means high temperatures are climbing into the mid to upper 90s, and it will be feeling well over 100 degrees. I'll have all those details coming up.
Right now, at 6, a local community comes together in search of a missing boy. Plus, how a local organization is providing health care and other resources to the public. And how a local school is providing students school supplies for the new year. Your News at 6 starts right now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 6.
Hey, good evening. Thanks for joining us. Renetta is off tonight. I'm Sean Cabbage Dog. Coverage you can count on begins in Aiken, where a community is searching for a missing boy. Search parties gathered at the Hobby Lobby Saturday evening in search of 15-year-old Aiden Canister. He was last seen Wednesday morning at around 6:45 on Cardinal Drive Southwest. Public safety says he has some health issues. Organizers say the search is difficult, but want Aiden home.
We don't have an exact location for a most recent sighting. There have been some sightings, but none of them are actually verified. So we kind of have to just look everywhere. Well, it's very difficult for the family and friends, obviously. We want Aiden home. If you have any information, you see Aiden, you think you know where he is, dial 911.
And another search party is underway tonight. Aiden was last seen wearing a red Metro Diner shirt, black shorts, and camouflage Crocs. And in Columbia County, investigators also searching for a teen they say ran away from home. 16-year-old Harmony Robinson was last seen Friday night at around 5 o'clock at her home in Harlem. They believe she may be in the Barton Chapel Road area. Call authorities if you know anything about either of them. We now know the identity of the person killed here in Richmond County Saturday. The coroner's office identifying him as 28-year-old Walter Smith. Deputies responded to Lumpkin Road for a call of a suspicious situation and found him with a gunshot wound. He died from his injuries. An autopsy has been scheduled. And Richmond County Sheriff's Office responding to a call of shots fired at the Get and Go on Windsor Spring Road just after 3 o'clock this afternoon. Authorities say no injuries were reported. The search continuing for a suspect in a mass shooting in Hampton, Georgia. Investigators say Andre Longmore killed 3 men and 1 woman just before 11 Saturday morning at Dogwood Lake Subdivision in Hampton. Police say there are at least 4 crime scenes in close proximity to each other. No word on a possible motive. Eyewitnesses spoke up on Longmore's actions.
He checked again. He realized that the shot was good. When he realized the shot was good, he took the weapon, checked it for a minute. He put it back in his holster. He looked around for a minute, and I was kind of confused. Why ain't my neighbor stepping on the gas? Well, he ain't stepped on the gas because he been hit.
Authorities say he's considered armed and dangerous. A $10,000 reward is being offered for any information leading to his arrest. The victims have not been identified. Meteorologist Jenna Petracci joins us now with a quick check of the forecast. It was a very hot day, my friend.
That's right, and we're not getting a break from the heat anytime soon, Sean. In fact, it's actually going to be heating up as we go into this upcoming week. So definitely a hot Sunday evening. We've been dealing with this heat over the last few days. However, it's very typical summertime temperatures we've been dealing with. As we go into next week, we'll be above average with those temperatures. But right now on our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam, we're not seeing any rain across the CSRA, but notice some of these clouds do look capable of producing some rain and some brief thunderstorms. So we still have the chance tonight. However, those rain chances are very slim. Our high temperature today was 94 degrees, putting us right on track with average. As I mentioned, so very typical summertime heat. Right now seeing those low 90s. 93 in Augusta, 93 as well in Evans, a little bit hotter in Louisville and Swainsboro at 95, Lincolnton at 94, 92 in Edgefield, and 97 in Wrightsville. So it is warmer than it was yesterday by 10 degrees in Aiken, 5 degrees warmer in Augusta. Not as big of a temperature change in some of our northwest counties. Now, on satellite and radar, as I mentioned, no rain at this time. But as we zoom out, we can see there is a cold front approaching the CSRA with high pressure building in behind it. Now, that high pressure will bring us some slightly drier air. We can already see that happening now on our dew point map. 66 in Thompson, 67 in Washington, compared to those mid 70s south of Augusta. So that really impacts the heat index, feeling like 96 in Washington and Crawfordville, but still like 106 in Louisville. Now, for the rest of this evening, it's going to be hot everywhere, even if it's slightly drier out. We'll be at 90 degrees at 7 p.m., 84 by the 9 o'clock hour. So a very hot week ahead, high temperatures in those mid to upper 90s, the heat index up to 110 with only isolated storms around. Coming up, I'll have a look at your forecast for the week ahead, but back to you, Sean.
Sounds good, Jenna. Thank you. With school starting in just a few weeks, organizations are putting together back-to-school events, providing school supplies, and so much more to children and families. Organizations like SRP help to gather and distribute backpacks filled with school supplies for the kids. Kathy Jackson holds this event annually in honor of her husband, Joe Jackson, who passed away in 2021 due to COVID-19. Ms. Jackson said her husband had a passion for making sure kids have what they need to be prepared for their first day of school, which is why this event is so important.
He had a big heart, and so today's turnout just has my heart overwhelmed because it has been great. And the kids are being fed, they're in the pool, they're getting free haircuts, getting nails done, they're getting free snacks, and all the supplies that they needed. So we are forever grateful because we have probably passed out over 400 book bags.
And great job. If you didn't get a chance to make it to today's event, you can call the number on your screen to make sure you get the supplies you need. And on Thursday, the City of Refuge Youth Development Center will partner with Aiken County Career and Technology Center and area barbers to give free school supplies, haircuts, food, games, and so much more. It's at 10:30 to 5:30 at 5955 Jefferson Davis Highway in North Augusta. Transportation is available. We have everything you need to know on our website and our mobile app. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden will be here in the Garden City. She's touring 4 battleground states promoting the Biden-Harris administration's Investing in America plan. Augusta will be her 3rd stop before she visited Pennsylvania. She's expected to talk about the American workforce and how communities can work together to create more, quote, good-paying jobs. Governor Brian Kemp has announced the next director of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Chris Hosey has served as the assistant GBI director since November 1st of last year. He's been with the GBI for more than 35 years now, and this comes weeks after the current GBI director, he's Mike Register, announced he will be resigning to take over as public safety director for Cobb County. That's a position he held prior to leading the GBI. Hosey received a bachelor's degree in sociology from Georgia Southwestern State University in Americas and a master's degree in public administration from Columbus State University. He's also a graduate of the FBI National Academy. Coming up, clear skies and a warm evening. We have more details when we join Jennifer Tracci for a look at your full forecast when we return. Stay with us.
The WGB Atlanta Braves. Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Good Sunday evening. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. It sure was a hot one, and our hot temperatures are sticking around into this upcoming week as well. Partly cloudy skies right now. We do have the chance of an isolated downpour and a thunderstorm, and we can see on our Terry Lambert Hyundai Sky View Cam, does look like the capability that we could see some rain here in Burke County within the next couple of hours. 93 degrees as our temperature right now with a northwest wind of 9 miles per hour. That's helping to bring in some slightly drier air. Dew points now dropping into those upper 60s. Around the CSRA, we're seeing low to upper 90s. 97 in Wrightsville, 95 in Swainsboro, only 92 in Washington and Crawfordville, 91 up in Saluda, and 94 down in Bamberg. So the heat index really depends on where you are. So we're seeing up to 106 in Louisville, 102 in Waynesboro, but feeling like 97 in Augusta, much more tolerable heat, 99 in Aiken. It is starting to see some of that drier air move into our northern counties, and on satellite and radar, No rain at this time, but we can see the cold front that's producing showers and thunderstorms down in southern Georgia and high pressure moving in behind it. So notice on the water vapor loop, you can see all that orange approaching the CSRA, and that's why our dew points are dropping into the upper 60s. Now, even though we're going to see that drier air, we're still going to be dealing with the triple-digit heat index this week, and that's because our high temperatures are on the rise. We'll be into those mid to upper 90s, so it doesn't take as much humidity to make it feel as hot as 110 degrees, and that's what I'm expecting for this upcoming Thursday. For tomorrow, though, 76 in the morning, making it to 95 by the afternoon, partly cloudy skies, and also expect some haze throughout the afternoon. For tonight, 7 p.m., still no rain, but then as we go into the 8 o'clock hour, that's when I'm expecting a few thunderstorms to develop, overall giving it just a 10% chance of rain for your evening. By 11 o'clock, we'll be drying back out, and a dry start to your Monday morning. That front will eventually just become a trough and then dissipate with that high pressure taking over, and that's what's going to bring us those very hot temperatures this week. We won't have a lot of moisture around, so rain chances are pretty slim all the way through your Wednesday, with a good amount of sunshine in the forecast. Then we'll have that next system come in, increasing our rain chances Thursday into the end of the week. Our lows tonight will be in the low 70s, right around average, and for tomorrow, we'll see those mid-90s. Very humid day. Even though those dew points are still dropping, we'll still be around that upper 60 to low 70 range for dew points, making it feel like over 100 degrees. That'll be the case all this week. Mostly sunny on Tuesday, 97, 98 on your Thursday, with isolated storms around and a few storms over the weekend. We'll get a little bit of heat relief on Saturday, Sean, back to 90, but that's about as cool as we're going to get.
And you said it's going to feel like 100 degrees?
Oh, at least 100, Sean. It's going to be feeling like 110 on Thursday.
I'm staying in my apartment, Jenna.
Yes,
in
good
the air
idea.
conditioning. Yeah, thank you. Well, coming up, presidential candidates report their fundraising numbers for the 2024 race. Those details coming up next.
Weather headlines on News Channel 6, brought to you by Jamie Casino Injury Attorneys. Children first on News.
It doesn't have to hold you back. Drive your dreams. Learn more about our credit challenge at mymiracleadvantage.com, Facebook, or Instagram.
With just 6 months until the Iowa caucuses, the Republican presidential candidates have released their latest fundraising figures, and they're looking to show that they have enough unique donors to qualify for next month's first GOP debate, which President Trump has already said he may not attend. Here's Mary Alice Parks.
The 2024 Republican presidential primary is heating up, and fundraising figures are providing some key insights into where the different candidates stand. Governor Ron DeSantis reportedly raised over $20 million in the 6 weeks since he launched his campaign, but has been burning through cash quickly and spent nearly $8 million and had a staff of over 90 people. ABC News has learned he's now planning to shake things up and already lay off about a dozen staffers. The Trump campaign also raising big sums, over $15 million to the campaign. His team moving a lot of money around between PACs and committees, some of which, not only the campaign, have been paying some of his legal bills. The former president speaking at an event in Florida, taking a swipe at Florida's own governor, Ron DeSantis.
And I don't know why he's not here this couple of days. He should be here. He should be here representing himself.
On the other end of the fundraising spectrum, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie raised $1.6 million. A third of that appears to be from small dollar donors, a good sign for his campaign. When asked on ABC's This Week if Christie thinks Trump will participate in next month's first debate, Christie said yes.
Come on, Donald. Get on the stage and defend your record. You know, if you want to be the nominee, you need to defend your record.
One sign of potential struggles ahead, former Vice President Mike Pence. His campaign reporting he brought in just over $1 million. I asked him about the status of his campaign. He told me he got into the race late and still had plenty of time. On the Democratic side, President Biden's campaign has raised close to $20 million since he announced his re-election bid, finishing the quarter with more than $20 million cash on hand. According to the campaign, though, only $5 million of that from small donors. Mary Alice Parks, ABC News, Washington.
And federal agencies are investigating whether medical credit cards can hurt consumers more than help. Officials recently discovered a surge in the number of patients who depend on the cards to pay their bills, and they're now blaming their healthcare providers. Jesse Tenor reports.
What's wrong?
President Biden is not a fan of some healthcare providers pushing patients to use medical credit cards to pay their bills.
Sounds good.
The cards typically start with 0 interest, but if patients can't pay off the loan in time or miss a payment, they can face interest rates up to nearly 30%.
They have seen a huge rise in the rate at which consumers are being marketed these medical credit cards.
Now, the White House says federal agencies are investigating to see whether the practice is legal.
To make clear that our consumer protection laws apply and that consumers should be protected.
From 2018 to 2020, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau estimates people in the U.S. paid $1 billion in interest on these cards and other medical financing. And the agency says that amount is growing as the practice spreads.
Somebody's making money, but it's not the patients.
Noam Levy, a senior correspondent with KFF Health News, says patients are often in a vulnerable situation and do not have all the information they need to understand the credit card's terms and their risks.
These are not the kind of traps that, people get in because they bought a Mercedes that they shouldn't have bought.
Levy found about 40% of adults in the U.S. have some form of medical debt, and this specific issue could impact millions. In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
Coming up, the Braves look for a win at home, and we'll announce the winner of the Scottish Open. Kira has sports next.
When I need a pair of running shoes, I look only for the lowest price because I know exactly what I need. I install them myself, and the only moving parts are my feet. A comfort system is way different. Lots of moving parts. Maintenance and repair is not simple. You can't trust just anyone with a truck. You can trust Styles Heating and Cooling. Styles repairs it right the first time and replaces only what can't be repaired. See us on the web at stylesair.com. At Checkers,
on WJBF News Channel 6 is sponsored by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Now, WJBF sports coverage you can count on.
The Atlanta Braves have been on fire recently, and they haven't lost a 3-game series since May when they headed to Oakland to take on the A's. Now they look to keep that streak going in today's rubber match against the White Sox inside Truist Park. Unfortunately, the Braves had a rocky start as they fell behind 4-0 in the top of the second inning, and they were not able to battle back as Chicago took Game 3 8-1 and took the series. The Braves will now turn their attention to the Diamondbacks as they open their series on Tuesday inside Truist Park. Well, today was the final round of the Genesis Scottish Open, a very windy Sunday, and here's Robert McIntyre and Rory McIlroy. They were the leaders for the back nine. McIntyre putting for par on the 16th hole. He misses the putt a bit to the left. That's his first bogey of the day, and it could be costly for him. Meanwhile, on the 14th, here's McIlroy's second shot on the par 3. He has such a great touch, and despite the wind, he sinks the 37-foot birdie putt, and that shot ties McIlroy and McIntyre for first place. McIntyre trying to get out of the rough for his second shot on the par 4 18th. He hits a fantastic shot with the wind and manages to land the ball within 3 feet of the hole. Just a really great calculated shot by McIntyre. His next shot would be a successful birdie putt, and McIntyre is very hyped up since that puts him in sole possession of first place. He would finish the tournament at 14 under, but Rory McIlroy still has 2 holes left. Here he is putting on the par 3 17th. He makes the birdie putt, which means there's now a tie for first, and I don't think McIntyre is too happy about that. We move to McIlroy's second shot on the par 4 18th. He hits a great line drive that rolls past the hole a little bit, but only by about 10 feet. Very doable for Rory, and I think he knows it as he is all smiles, walking over to the 18 green. Rory McIlroy looking for the win right here with a birdie. He sinks the putt for the win and earns his 24th career PGA Tour victory with a score of 15 under for the tournament. A well-earned victory for the 2023 Genesis Scottish Open champion. And that does it for sports.
Exciting, Kira, thank you. For coming up, a home right out of a fairy tale. Those details after the break.
This was it?
Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event.
Get special offers on the 2023 IS 300.
We'll take Take a look at this. This may be one of the coolest homes in Alabama. It's a lakeside home known as the Castle at Smith Lake. It was built in the 80s and offers a 180-degree view of the lake. Besides a generally striking appearance, there are multiple open decks and an actual indoor fishing room with an open bottom. And there's a huge deck. The catch is the price, $4.9 million.
Ooh, steep.
Wow.
Well,
But these ladies right here, y'all have the money, so go ahead and buy it.
right.
This is
Oh,
y'all.
yeah, no, that's totally the house that I rented when I went to Alabama.
Oh, really?
Of course, obviously.
Yeah.
That is so not the house I rented.
No, I have never even seen or heard of that house.
No.
Funny though, I just had some friends yesterday invite me to Smith Lake in Alabama, and now when I go there, I need to try to find that house.
Yeah, you gotta stay there.
Yes. Well, I wanted to point out on the live over 6, we do have one isolated storm that has now popped up in Allendale County over Gray's Crossroads, just the north of Allendale, and also over Sycamore. So as we go into the rest of this evening, we will have the chance of some isolated storms with some brief heavy rain and some thunder and lightning. But other than that, not a lot of activity over the next couple of days when it comes to rain. The main story is the heat. 95 tomorrow, 97 on Tuesday, mostly sunny. Isolated storms Wednesday through Friday. Temperatures remaining hot. Then back down to 90 on Saturday. A little bit cooler, but definitely still hot. And our low temperatures will also be in the low 70s, staying warm and muggy overnight. So this is overall a typical July forecast for us.
Yes, it is.
Not
Welcome
a lot
to
of
the CSR.
sun after Tuesday.
Well, yeah, mix of sun and
Mix of
clouds
sun and
here, a few
clouds.
storms, typical here.
Summer storms.
Yep,
Yeah.
summer storms.
Sounds good to me. And that's our report for now. We're back at 11 o'clock. Have a great night.
This time around, an all-new The Bachelorette, tomorrow, 9/8 Central. Yes, for you. Feelings for you. Hey! Yes, for you. You feel like something. Good morning, America.
Summertime heat all this week with some of the hottest temperatures we've seen all this year. We're expecting mid to upper 90s with the heat index well over 100. I'll have all the details coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 11, another night of an Aiken community searching for a missing teen in dire need of medical attention. Plus, the latest developments in a manhunt for a mass shooting suspect in Georgia. And how a local organization is providing healthcare and resources to the public as your News at 11 starts right now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 11.
Well, good evening. Thanks for joining us. Renetta is off tonight. I'm Sean Cabbage-Stock. Coverage you can count on begins with a search for a 15-year-old Aiken teen whose family and friends say is medically fragile. Now, 4 days after his disappearance, hundreds of people are taking part in the search. Aiden Canister left his home early on July 12th and has been missing ever since. The Aiken community has rallied together to search for Aiden, and time is of the essence due to Aiden's medical history and the danger he may be in.
So he has cystic fibrosis that requires every 4 hours for him to have a breathing treatment. He wears a vest that rattles his chest to rattle the things that are building up in his lungs. He has to have medications 3 times a day. He also has to take medications every time he eats. This is getting very scary. He needs help. He needs to go see his cystic fibrosis doctor, and he needs emergency care.
And the family has been giving updates on Facebook, and they say they will continue to do so. If you see Aiden, call 911 and report his location so he can get the medical help he needs. And also, investigators in Columbia County are still searching for a teen they say ran away from home. 16-year-old Harmony Robinson was last seen Friday night at around 5 o'clock at her home in Harlem. They believe she may be in the Burton Chapel Road area. Call authorities if you know anything about either of them. We now know the identity of the person killed in Richmond County Saturday. The coroner's office identifying him as 28-year-old Walter Smith. Deputies responded to Lumpkin Road for a call of a suspicious situation and found him with a gunshot wound. He died from his injuries. An autopsy has been scheduled. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office investigating a shooting at a local gas station. Deputies responded to a call for shots fired at the Get and Go on Wizard Spring Road just after 3 o'clock this afternoon. When they got there, they learned that one man fired shots at another one in the parking lot. Authorities say no injuries were reported. Both men had fled the scene before deputies got there. After evading capture for nearly 2 days, a startling end to a manhunt for a Georgia mass shooting suspect. Henry County Sheriff's Office, they confirmed that 40-year-old Andre Longmore, a suspect accused of gunning down 4 people in a rural subdivision in Hampton, Georgia, was killed this afternoon after a confrontation between law enforcement. One of Longmore's victims, 66-year-old Ronald Jeffers, was remembered by his church at a service today.
Thank you for the testimony of Brother Ron. The kindness he treated others with.
And authorities say a Henry County deputy and a Clayton County police officer were injured while trying to arrest him. No word on their condition yet. Meteorologist Jennifer Tracci joins us now with a quick check of the forecast. It's still going to be hot, huh?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Sean. Nothing changing. I know you wish it was already winter time,
Yes.
but I'd say we still got a few more months to go. It's just becoming the peak of summertime. It's definitely going to be feeling like the middle of July this week with not a lot of heat relief when it comes to the rain. And just like what we're seeing now on Live Viber 6, only a few spotty showers around. That'll be the case over the next few days, keeping those rain chances under 20%. But right now in Screven and Allendale County, we do have some brief showers. These are not really doing much at all. Notice the lightning counter at 0 strikes. So really not a lot of activity to work with this evening. It's mostly clear. Actually, our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam over in Aiken showing a pleasant night. It was very hot today, 94 degrees. However, it was right on track with our average for this time of the year. It's really been the humidity that's been making it feel more hot than it normally is, and that'll be the case this week as well. Humidity remains high. We're seeing those upper 70s to low 80s right now. Augusta at 77, Wrightsville still at 82, same in Gibson, 80 degrees in Edgefield and Washington. And notice high pressure is on our satellite radar along with this trough. This was a cold front earlier, and it's now weakening, so it's really not bringing us anything tonight other than those few showers. High pressure will be taking over, which means we'll be mostly dry, but also very hot, along with dew points remaining in the 70s. So we did drop to exactly 70 in Lincolnton and Washington, so some slightly drier air has moved in. But check out those dew points further south. 82 in Swainsboro, 77 in Bardwell and Allendale, and that's still making it feel like the mid to upper 80s this evening in some locations. Now for tomorrow morning, a muggy start under partly cloudy skies, 72 at 6 o'clock, 81 by the 9 o'clock hour. So a very hot week ahead, highs in the mid to upper 90s. The heat index from 104 to 110, so getting close to that heat advisory criteria with only isolated storm chances. So coming up, we'll have a look at your 10-day forecast, so be sure to stay with us. But back to you, Sean.
All right, Jenna, sounds good. Thank you. Well, the Medical Reserve Corps here in Augusta held a free health fair for those in underserved parts of Georgia. Bria Smith was there.
Blythe, Georgia is one of the most underserved communities in the state when it comes to health care.
Since COVID, we've now able to get out and about to the 13 counties, and this is the very first event that we are going to be working on increasing awareness on public health issues. And
that's why the Medical Reserve Corps in Bath Gardens came together to bring health resources to those who live in the area.
Diabetes, height and weight, body mass index, high blood pressure. The children there to your left, we're talking about asthma and respiratory problems with children and immunizations for children. We also are doing a emergency preparedness pack and a go pack for people in case they have to leave quickly.
Beck tells me the Department of Homeland Security granted the state of Georgia more than $2 million for health care. Some of that funding going to the Medical Reserve Corps to continue putting on events like these.
Our goal is to educate the community so that people know that the public health is there for them.
Bath Gardens Executive Director James Brady tells me he's glad that the location can be of access to those in the community.
South Richmond County is certainly an underserved area to begin with. A lot of the big events typically take place downtown or perhaps a little bit west. And the bigger events typically don't make it out to this area, South Richmond County near Blythe. So subsequently, it's always important that we can bring something to an underserved community.
If you are in need of any health information or resources, contact your local Department of Public Health. In Augusta, Bria Smith, WJBF, News Channel 6.
All right, Bria, thanks. With school starting in just a few weeks, organizations are putting together back-to-school events, providing school supplies, and so much more for children and families. Organizations like SRP help to gather and distribute backpacks filled with school supplies for kids. Kathy Jackson holds this event annually in honor of her husband Joe, who passed away in 2021 due to COVID-19. Ms. Jackson said her husband had a passion for making sure kids have what they need to be prepared for their first day at school, which is why this event is so important.
He had a big heart, and so today's turnout just has my heart overwhelmed because it has been great. And the kids are being fed, they're in the pool, they're getting free haircuts, getting nails done, they're getting free snacks and all the supplies that they needed. So we are forever grateful because we have probably passed out over 400 plus bags.
Well, great job. If you didn't get a chance to make it out to today's event, we have more information on our website and our mobile app. On Thursday, the City of Refuge Youth Development Center will partner with the Aiken County Career and Technology Center, as well as area barbers who give free school supplies, haircuts, food, games, and so much more. It's from 10:30 to 5 over at 5955 Jefferson Davis Highway in North Augusta. Transportation will be available, and we have everything you need to know on WJBF.com. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden will be here, and Jan Hicks talks about her career, family, and what life is like today. Plus, advancing cancer treatments are helping patients live longer, but that means a growing need for more post-cancer support as they face new physical and emotional challenges. All this and more Tuesday at 12:30 on Jenny. So coming up, hotter temperatures for the week. Meteorologist Jennifer Tracci joins us with a check of your full forecast.
Good fun.
Network sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai. Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live 5/6.
Good Sunday evening. I hope you had an awesome weekend and hopefully you stayed cool. It sure was hot with temperatures in the low to mid 90s. Heat index well over 100, and that'll be the case for this week as well. With not a lot of heat relief when it comes to the rain, rain chances are staying very slim, similar to what we're seeing right now. So notice the majority of the CSRA nice and dry, with the exception of these 3 spotty showers here headed towards Highway 301. Just outside of Allendale. Now on our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam over at Washington Road, it's nice and dry outside. Skies are mostly clear with 77 degrees as our temperature right now. We have a west wind of 5 miles per hour, dew point of 73, so definitely still on the muggy side. And we'll be in those low 70s as we go into the overnight hours, but right now still seeing the 80s along our western counties. 80 degrees exactly in Lincolnton down to Sandersville, 82 in Wrightsville, 84 in Evans, but seeing those upper 70s anywhere from Augusta over to Aiken, 79 up in Saluda and Edgefield. Now for our satellite and radar, we are seeing a trough right across the CSRA. Earlier today, this was a cold front, but now it's weakening and about to fall apart, and a high pressure is going to take over. So that means we'll be mostly dry over the next couple of days, but that high is also going to bring in the heat. It brought in some slightly drier air, but as you can see on our water vapor loop, a lot more moisture is already streaming in from the west. So that means humidity will be high once again this week, making the feels like temperatures at 104 tomorrow and as hot as 110 on Thursday. And at that point, we are going to be in heat advisory criteria. So it is definitely possible we could have some heat alerts issued at that point in the week. But in the meantime, tomorrow, 76 at the 8 o'clock hour, 95 by 4 p.m. A partly cloudy day. Notice not much rain on our futurecast, keeping those rain chances under 10% for tomorrow. That high pressure moves in. The showers and storms staying mostly along the coastline and down in Florida over the next couple of days. Tuesday staying mostly dry and sunny. Then on Wednesday, we'll start to see an increase in moisture and we'll see rain chances go up just a tad. Now for tomorrow, also keep in mind it will be pretty hazy outside. We have more smoke coming in from way up north. Most of this will be pretty light, but we could see some moderate smoke conditions into the CSRA at a few points in the day tomorrow and even into our Tuesday. Also touching on the tropics, nothing close to home, but way out in we do have subtropical storm Dawn. This is actually a depression now, 35-mile-per-hour winds, and a very interesting track Dawn is taking, literally making a loop-de-loop, clockwise spin here over the next few days. It's going to briefly strengthen back to a tropical storm, and at that point, it'll likely weaken again, eventually falling apart, not impacting the United States. At least that's what it looks like for now. Lows tonight will be in the low 70s, and for tomorrow, heating right back up to 95 in Augusta. Partly cloudy skies, mostly sunny on your Tuesday, 20% chance of rain Wednesday and Thursday. At that point, we'll have a high of 98 degrees, 96 for Friday. Rain chances going up a bit over the weekend, and temperatures going down just a tad. High of 90 on Saturday. But no 80s anytime soon, Sean.
Not
Only
even
90s.
70s or 60s or 50s of even rain.
No, but at least there's no 100s, right? 98.
Right. There you go.
Could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse. Thank you, Jenna. But coming up, severe weather across the nation. We have those details when we return.
After an accident,
The customer service.
Severe weather impacting much of the country over the weekend. 14 states under heat alerts. 12 people have died from heat-related deaths in one county in Arizona. One heat-related death has been reported in Harris County, Texas. Meanwhile, much of the Northeast is saturated following days of heavy rain. Here's Rihanna Nally with those details.
Millions of people from New Jersey to Maine remain under flood watches. Days of relentless rain has left the ground in many areas saturated. In New Hampshire, first responders carrying out this dramatic rescue in Manchester. You can see the heavy rain falling in Saugus, Massachusetts. A huge splash from a passing car. Officials continue to remind people not to drive through standing water.
You see a little bit of puddling on roads. That could actually turn very quickly into a dangerous situation.
In Bucks County, Pennsylvania, nearly 5 inches of rain fell in just 90 minutes on Saturday, unleashing a violent flash flood. Tragedy unfolding when a family was swept away in their car.
As they tried to escape the fierce floodwaters, Dad took his 4-year-old son, while the mother and the grandmother grabbed the 2 additional children, ages 9 months and 2 years. Miraculously, Dad and his son were able to get safely. However, the grandmother, the mother, and the 2 children were swept away by the floodwaters.
Nick Premola says he was on his way home when he saw several empty cars on this stretch of road.
And I saw a car that was totally upside down, and I realized I was in the middle of a whole scene. And so it was kind of hit you right there, the seriousness of it.
Meanwhile, more than 80 million Americans from Washington state to Florida remain under heat alerts. Phoenix, Arizona seeing temperatures over 110 degrees for more than 2 weeks. El Paso, Texas now has seen more than 30 consecutive days of temperatures above 100 degrees. And those triple-digit highs could last for another week. Rihanna Nally, ABC News, New York.
Coming up, the Braves look for another win at home, and we'll announce the winner of the Scottish Open. Assistant Sports Director Kira Goldstein has sports next.
Pool forecast is brought to you by Clear Choice Pool and Spa. For pool maintenance and renovations, make the clear choice. Now, WJBF sports coverage you can count on.
The Atlanta Braves have been on fire recently, and they haven't lost a 3-game series since May when they headed to Oakland to take on the A's. They look to keep that streak going during Sunday's rubber match against the White Sox inside Truist Park. Top of the second, White Sox lead 3-0. Luis Robert Jr. rips it to left field for a hit. Charging is Hillard, but the throw is a little late, and Benintendi makes it home from second. That's the White Sox 4th run in the second as they take the early lead. The Braves were able to tack one on in the bottom of the third, but overall they struggled at the dish as the White Sox take Game 3 8-1 and win the series. So with that, the Braves now look ahead to a team they beat back in June, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Game 1 is on Tuesday, and first pitch is at 7:20 inside Truist Park. Sunday was the final round of the Genesis Scottish Open, a very windy Sunday. And here's Robert McIntyre and Rory McIlroy. They were the leaders for the back 9. McIntyre putting for par on the 16th hole. He misses the putt a bit to the left. That's his first bogey of the day, and it could be costly for him. Meanwhile, on the 14th,
We see Rory McIlroy in his second shot on the par 3. He has such a great touch, and despite the wind, he sinks the 37-foot birdie putt. That shot then ties McIlroy and McIntyre for first place. McIntyre trying to get out of the rough for his second shot on the par 4 18th. He hits a fantastic shot with the wind and manages to land the ball within 3 feet of the hole. Just a great calculated shot by McIntyre. His next shot would be a successful birdie putt, and McIntyre is very hyped up about that as it puts him in sole possession of first place. He would finish the tournament at 14 under, but Rory McIlroy still has 2 holes left. Here he is putting on the par 3 17th. He makes the birdie putt, which means there's now a tie for first, and I don't think McIntyre is too happy about that. We move to McIlroy's second shot on the par 4 18th. He hits a great drive shot that rolls a little bit past the hole, but only by about 10 feet. Very doable for Rory McIlroy, and I think he knows it as he is all smiles walking over to 18 green. Rory McIlroy looking for the win right here with a birdie. He sinks the putt for the win and earns his 24th career PGA Tour victory with a score of 15 under for the tournament, a very well-earned victory for the 2023 Genesis Scottish Open champion. And finally, in more golf news, on the last day of the American Century Championship, we have Steph Curry with a long eagle putt. He needs this for the win. It looks good, and it is. What an incredible performance from Steph Curry. He came from behind to win it at the buzzer in classic Curry fashion. He goes absolutely nuts in celebration, runs right over to his wife and kids. He celebrates with his caddy as well as his dad, who was there all tournament to witness his win. He was so confident in this putt that he actually dropped the club before the ball even went in. Classic splash, bro. A very big congratulations to the NBA champion and now American Century champion, Steph Curry. And that does it for sports.
Coming up, McDonald's catering weddings. We have those details coming up after the break. Okay, take a look at this so you can say I do with McDonald's. The I'm Loving It brand is getting into wedding catering. At least in Indonesia, the restaurants there are offering a wedding package with 100 burgers and 400 nuggets for about $230. They'll even set up a stall at the reception to serve the food. The perfect start for a lifetime of happy meals, but the French fries aren't included. And I know y'all have something to say about this one. Jenna and Kira, go ahead. I'm
Were
ready.
you just assuming that?
Oh, I'm sorry. But Jenna, would you like to have your wedding at McDonald's?
I'm loving it. I don't know about you. Yeah, I'm loving it.
I'm hating it.
Well, you know, you can have a cheap wedding, and the money you would normally spend on the wedding, you can put that to the side and maybe take trips or whatever. So
Yeah. Catering can be expensive.
Yeah, but I've seen like Chili's catering. I'm okay with that. I'm on board
You're
with
okay
that.
with that, but
Not
not
McDonald's. That's where I draw the line. A little
Okay.
too far.
An interesting place to draw the line, Jenna.
All
just
right.
say you got 30
Whatever.
seconds. How's the forecast looking?
Well, it's looking hot. That's no surprise to anyone here. We're going to be in those mid to upper 90s. As hot as 98 on Thursday. Heat index well over 100. Feeling as hot as 110. Our lows in the low 70s. Very low rain chances, only going up to 20% Wednesday, Thursday, and 30% over the weekend.
Thank you for joining us.
July.
The first news starts at 4:30. Have a great night. I love you, Mama.
So you're fed up with n.com. It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend.